So we're going to take a look at a few different soils and cover this topic kind of briefly, but we want to dig down into it and what does a good quality soil consist of. Well, first off, a good quality soil will have a lot of peat moss into it, and by saying a lot, I'm saying at least 50% or more. Peat moss is that moisture control. That's what you want to hold that water and give it back. So when you water your plants, it can take that moisture in, but it will also readily give it back. So we're looking for a higher percentage, over 50%, say 60, 70, even 80% peat moss, or the alternative to peat moss is hydrofiber, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. The hydrofiber, Jolly Gardener is one of the soils that we use exclusively in our greenhouses, and Jolly Gardener has gone from using a lot of peat moss to mixing it in and now being more the bulk of using hydrofiber. Hydrofiber is really just a shredded down wood product, and I really like it. I was concerned when they made that switch, when the Jolly Gardener made that switch to going from peat moss to hydrofiber. I was really concerned because I didn't want to change the dynamic of our plants and flowers, but I was really impressed. I really do like the hydrofiber, and again, it's just an alternative to the peat moss. So either peat moss or hydrofiber, they're both really, really that good water retaining substrate in your soil. So another thing that you'll probably see is perlite. And I'm not a big fan of perlite, and I don't like the overuse of it, and the perlite is the big white hunks, and it's like a very light volcanic something that they mine, and they're putting it in here for filler and kind of giving a little more room for the soil to breathe. I don't mind it, I just don't like to see when it's being overused. So when I see too much of the white clumps, then I kind of shy away from that soil, and it instantly, to me, it puts it kind of in a lower quality soil. It's okay to have it, I just don't like the overuse of it, so with that perlite. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Sunrow. So Sunrow is a good quality soil. We've used it for years. This is actually going to be on my lower end if I'm going to rank these. And the reason is it's kind of a chunky soil. It's not bad, it's a decent quality soil, but this mix is really chunky. So if I were to use this, I would actually thin it down a little bit. So this is the really chunky part. I would actually mix in some germinating mix. And germinating mix is a very, very light, airy soil. And you can see this, it's for starting seeds, but it's a very light soil, and a lot of times I'll mix in my with my regular Jolly Gardener, this green bag. This is the Promix line. I'll use about 3 bags of my green bag mix. That's kind of the regular Jolly Gardener, and I'll put in 1 bag of their germinating mix. I really like that, how it makes that just a little bit lighter to feel for it. So that's germinating mix. Again, germinating mix is mostly shredded up peat moss, and you can see there's some white in here. That's perlite, but it's like a finely ground perlite. So that's the germinating mix. And talking again about our Jolly Gardener, that's mostly what we use in our greenhouses. It's a little bit less chunky than this from Sunrow, but there are some big hunks in here. So again, what the mix is, it's about 60% peat moss or hydrofiber, and then there's some pine bark in there. So if you take a closer look at this, you will see some bigger pieces of pine bark, and that's okay, that's fine. That's just helping to take up some space, and again, giving a little bit more aeration for the roots to grow through. But the Jolly Gardener is a really good soil. We use it exclusively in our greenhouses. It's really hard to find. So when I tell people, hey, yeah, we use Jolly Gardener, they come back to me and they're like, I can't find it anywhere. So when we started really looking around, and we found this Promix. So I'm going to kind of come back to this of, if I were to use a soil mix in my greenhouses, I like the Jolly Gardener. But the runner-up for you to use at home, I really do like this Promix. And taking a look at it, it's a very nice, finely ground. This is actually mostly peat moss. So there is about 80% peat moss in here. You can see some of the little white pieces of perlite. It has a finely ground up perlite. And it's a very nice mix. So the nice thing is you can find this. We've had some people that watch our videos and they're like, Scott, I'm 100 miles away from the nearest town. You know, I'm in a rural area. I can't just go to the store, and I certainly can't find Jolly Gardener. I can't find a good quality soil. What else can I use? I really highly recommend this Promix, and there's a few different sizes. I really like it. So it's a very good quality mix. A lot of people, when you start reading the reviews, it has very positive reviews. So I'm really liking this Promix. It just has a good feel to it. Again, lots of peat moss in there. There's also a wetting agent. You know, if you read on the back of the bag, you might be like, well, what's a wetting agent? So a wetting agent is just something that they put in here, and it makes it a lot easier for when we're planting and we water down our plants, that it really starts absorbing that water into it, and it doesn't shed off. So you might see that term on the back of the bag. That's what a wetting agent is. But anyway, I really do like this Promix. So it's a great alternative that you can go ahead and find this online, and we'll link it in this video of where you can find that. So these are the soils that we can recommend. And again, having a good quality soil makes all the difference in the world. And you know, going back to what I was talking about, it's that base, it's where you have to start. You have to start with good soil. You're not going to go into a big box retailer or the big home chains, and if you're buying that junk that they bring out, those big national brands, you will never have beautiful plants and flowers because you didn't build a good base. You have to have a good base, and that is your soil. And look at the beautiful roots on this geranium, and that's what we want. We want to have a good solid base so that this plant can develop that base, the root structure in that soil. We've had so many customers, you know, they'll come into our greenhouses, they'll buy good quality plants, and they'll plant up, say, their own planters or hanging baskets. And, you know, a month later, they come back in to see me and they're like, Scott, my stuff just doesn't look like your stuff. Your hanging baskets are huge. Your planters look great. They're beautiful. What am I doing wrong? And the first question always that I will ask them is, what soil did you plant that in? And 9 times out of 10, they're like, well, you know, I went to the, you know, Wally World and bought some of that name brand soil. And I'm like, we found your problem. That stuff, and they'll even bring in their planters for me to look at, and you know, a month later, 2 months later, they planted in that junky soil, and the plant never rooted in. There was no reason to. There was nothing there. There was no nutrients there. There was nothing to root into. And you can take and you can grab that plant, you can just pull it right out of the soil and never even root it in. And in fact, you'll see how the roots will be just wrapped around the soil that we used for the plant, and you know, it never rooted into the soil that they put it into. There was no reason to, because that soil was deficient, and the plant basically just rejected it. So you have to use a good quality soil. That's why you can, you know, Sunrow is a pretty decent soil. Jolly Gardener, we absolutely love Jolly Gardener. This Promix, I'm really liking it, and I love the fact that you can find it and you can have it shipped right to your door. Now, Let me give you a little warning about this Promix. There's a couple different sizes, and this is actually a compressed bale. So what they do is they take that soil and they really put pressure on it and compress it down. So this is dense. This makes way more soil than what you're looking at. It also means that it's very heavy. So you have to be aware that you might have to use a little cart or something. This one's not bad. This is 30-some pounds. That next size up is extremely heavy, so just be warned if you get the bigger, the 4 cubic foot, it's like 60 pounds. It's extremely heavy to try to lug around. But this is a good size. I think this weighs like 30-some pounds. But this is a good quality soil. Again, take a look at it. You can really tell that it's a decent soil. It's not too crunchy, it doesn't have too much filler in it, and it has a lot of peat moss. I really love that. Now, something else I do want to mention. Some of the soils that you will see, they'll have on there, that it has a slow release fertilizer in it. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's good. That's good to know. And you'll see that they'll look like some yellow pellets. So that's a slow release. Now, that does not mean that you just don't ever have to fertilize it. So slow release is exactly what it says. It's a very small, tiny, minuscule amount that every time that you water, it'll release just a little bit of feed for the plant. It's not an alternative to fertilizing at least once a week. So don't let that trip you up, and I'll have customers say, hey, my flowers, they're not flowering like yours. What's going on? And I'll say, I'll make sure that they're using good soil. And they're like, yeah, I got this. I got what you told me to. Okay, are you fertilizing at least once a week? And that's where they'll say, well, no, actually the bag says it has fertilizer in it. And I'm like, no. Let me liken it to this. Do you take a vitamin, a multivitamin? They're like, yeah, sure, I take that in the morning. Okay, well then you don't need to eat the rest of the day, right? No, so a vitamin does not replace eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Kind of the same concept. If you take a vitamin, that doesn't mean that you just never have to eat. Same thing with the soil. If it has a slow release fertilizer in it, it has that just a little bit of micronutrients that it's giving every time that you water, but it's not a sustaining. You still have to fertilize at least once a week with the Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer. That's going to give it the best shot. That's actually going to be the meat and potatoes for it. So I hope that clears up a few things about soil. It's an important topic, and it's that base that you have to have that right to move on to your next important things to learn about planting and gardening, and that's soil. It's that important. So thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.